Good morning, esteemed guests, distinguished faculty members, and dear students. Welcome to the inauguration ceremony of the Master of Arts and Postgraduate Diploma in English and Education, hosted by the Faculty of Graduate Studies in collaboration with the Faculty of Social Science and Languages of Sabaragamuwa University of Sri Lanka. Today marks a significant milestone for you as well as our two faculties as we gather to celebrate the commencement of a program designed to enrich the minds and careers of educators and practitioners in the fields of English language and English language teaching. Our overarching goal here is the dissemination of knowledge and the cultivation of expertise among teachers, teacher educators, practitioners, and administrators in the realm of education. This program, therefore, with its well-tailored curriculum and a brilliant panel of faculty, stands as a beacon of opportunity for those seeking to advance their careers and make a lasting impact in the field of education. Here, you will experience rigorous academic inquiry, innovative teaching methodologies, as well as hands-on practical training. So, on behalf of the faculty and the administration, I extend my warmest congratulations to all the participants of this inauguration program. And once again, welcome all of you to the inauguration ceremony of the Master of Arts and Postgraduate Diploma in English and Education at the Sabaragamuwa University of Sri Lanka, the 2026 intake. So without further ado, we will now light the traditional oil lamp in commencement of the inauguration ceremony. To do the honors, I cordially invite the keynote speaker, Professor Indira Mavella from the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, the guest of honor, Dr. Shashikala Asela from the University of Kelaniya, the Dean of the Faculty of Graduate Studies, Professor Rohita Rosairo, the Dean of the Faculty of Social Science and Languages, Professor Rohana Vikrama, I apologize. Representing the panel of lecturers we have here with us, dear Professor Lalita Ananda, former chairperson of the Board of Study Humanities, Professor Manoj Aryaratna, head of the Department of Languages, Dr. Champa De Silva, representing the Board of Study Humanities, Dr. Chandana Disanayaka, the coordinator of the MA in English and Education program, Ms. Dilusha Randi, the director of the Chinese Confucius classroom, Professor Yi Wei, senior assistant registrar of the Faculty of Graduate Studies, Professor Mohammad Rizan, and one student representative. Let me now cordially invite the following dignitaries to assume seats at the head table. The keynote speaker, Professor Indira Mawalla, the guest of honor, Dr. Shashikala Asela, the Dean of the Faculty of Graduate Studies, Professor Rohit Roseiro, the Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences and Languages, Professor Rohana Bevikrama, and the coordinator of the MA in English and Education 2026 program, Ms. Dilusha Randi. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem. Let me now cordially invite Professor Rohit Roseiro, the Dean of the Faculty of Graduate Studies, to welcome this distinguished gathering.
Thank you, Ashani. Good morning to all of you, respected invitees, members of academic, administrative, and non-academic staff, and my dear postgraduate students of the 2026 intake. My duty is to welcome all of you, which I consider as a privilege. I wish to welcome our keynote speaker today, Professor Indira Mawalla, from the Department of English and Linguistics, Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, University of Sri Jagannathapura, and the guest of honor, Dr. Shashikala Asela, Department of English, Faculty of Humanities, University of Kelaniya. It's an honor to have both of you at this event today. Please let me also welcome Professor Rohana Bevikrama, Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences and Languages, Sabaragamuwa University of Sri Lanka. A warm welcome for you, sir. I also wish to extend a warm welcome to members of Board of Study in Humanities, all the members of the academic, teaching, administrative and non-academic staff. We have here with us Professor Manoja Ratna, former Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences and Languages, and also a former chairperson of the Board of Study in Humanities. And also we have three coordinators. The present coordinator 2026 intake, your coordinator Ms. Dilusha Randi, and the coordinators of the previous batch intakes, Ms. Sajani Veerasinghe and Ms. Ashani Maxwell, and also the foreign delegates. Most importantly, I wish to extend a warm welcome to the students of the 2026 intake of the MA and PGD in English and Education postgraduate degree program. It's with immense pleasure that I welcome you to the inauguration ceremony of the Master of Arts and Postgraduate Diploma in English and Education programs, conducted by the Faculty of Graduate Studies in collaboration with the Faculty of Social Sciences and Languages and the Board of Study in Humanities. Today is a significant milestone in your academic journey. By choosing to pursue postgraduate studies in English and Education, you have demonstrated intellectual ambition, professional commitment, and a deep sense of responsibility towards the field of education. I warmly congratulate each one of you on your admission to these programs and commend your decision to invest in advanced learning. The Faculty of Graduate Studies carries the responsibility of ensuring academic excellence, quality assurance, research integrity, and regulatory compliance across all postgraduate programs conducted by the university. Our mission is not merely to confer degrees, but to cultivate scholars, researchers, reflective practitioners, and ethical professionals who can contribute meaningfully to our society. The MA and PGD in English and Education are designed in line with this vision. Postgraduate education is different from the undergraduate study. It demands a greater independence, deeper critical thinking, and sustained intellectual engagement. You are expected to move beyond memorization and reproduction of knowledge towards analysis, synthesis, evaluation, and original contributions. Whether you are enrolled in the MA program with a research component or in the PGD program focused on professional enhancement, your active participation and commitment will determine the value you gain from this journey. Many of you are practicing teachers, educators, administrators, or professionals. You bring rich experiences from diverse educational contexts. I encourage you to view your classroom not merely as a place of instruction, but as a space of dialogue and collaboration. Share your experiences, question assumptions, reflect on practice, and learn from one another. Peer learning is one of the most powerful dimensions of postgraduate education. Time management and self-discipline are crucial for postgraduate success. Balancing academic responsibility with professional and your family commitments can be very challenging. There will be assignments, presentations, research proposals, and examinations to complete within strict timelines. I'm certainly not discouraging you. I'm making you prepared. I advise you to plan carefully, communicate effectively with your lecturers and supervisors, and remain consistent in your efforts. Persistence and resilience are key qualities of successful postgraduate students. Research is a central pillar of the MA program. Through your research projects and dissertations, you will have the opportunity to explore pressing issues in language teaching, literary studies, educational policy, curriculum reform, classroom practices, assessment strategies, or other relevant areas. I encourage you to select topics that are not only academically sound, but also socially relevant. Sri Lanka's educational landscape is evolving quite fast, and your research can contribute to meaningful improvements in teaching and learning. For those enrolled in the PGD program, the emphasis on professional development will strengthen your pedagogical skills, theoretical understanding, and reflective practice. The knowledge you gain here should directly enhance your classroom performance and institutional contribution. Education is not static. It evolves, with societal needs and technological advancement. As postgraduate students, you are expected to remain adaptable and forward-thinking. At Sabaragamuwa University of Sri Lanka, we are committed to providing a supportive academic environment. Our academic staff are dedicated to guiding you, and our administrative teams are here to assist you in navigating procedures and regulations. I encourage you to make full use of the university's learning resources, library facilities, digital platforms, and research support services. Let this inauguration mark the beginning of a journey characterized by intellectual curiosity, academic rigor, collaboration, and personal growth. There will be challenges, but there will also be immense satisfaction in overcoming them. Each milestone you achieve will bring you closer to your professional and scholarly goals. On behalf of the Faculty of Graduate Studies, I extend my warmest welcome to you all. May your time in the MA and PGD in English and Education program be enriching, transformative, and successful. I wish you strength, perseverance, and excellence in all your academic endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our Vice Chancellor, Professor M. Sunil Shanta, who rarely misses an event as important as this, couldn't be with us today because of his other official commitments. I would like to invite Professor Rosero again to share the ideas of our Vice Chancellor.
Thank you, Ashani. As mentioned, our Vice Chancellor, Professor M. Sunil Shanta, who is supposed to be the chief guest today, is in Colombo. He's on an official obligation. But he has been generous in sharing a message, so I'm going to read out the message that he has shared. The keynote speaker today, Professor Indira Mavella, guest of honor, Dr. Shashikala Asella, Professor Rohan Abevikrama, Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences and Languages, Sabaragamuwa University of Sri Lanka, all members of the academic, teaching, administrative, and non-academic staff. It's with immense pleasure and a deep sense of pride that I welcome you all to the inauguration ceremony of the postgraduate programs, Master of Arts and Postgraduate Diploma in English and Education at the Sabaragamuwa University of Sri Lanka. Today marks not merely the commencement of an academic program, but the beginning of a transformative intellectual journey. Each one of you has made a conscious decision to advance your knowledge, refine your professional practice, and contribute more meaningfully to the field of English and education. I warmly congratulate you on securing your place in these prestigious postgraduate programs and commend your commitment to lifelong learning. In the contemporary world, education stands at the heart of social progress, national development, and global engagement. The English language, in particular, has become a powerful medium of international communication, academic scholarship, research dissemination, and professional mobility. Simultaneously, the discipline of education continues to evolve in response to technological advancements, policy reforms, pedagogical innovations, and the diverse needs of learners. The integration of English and education within these postgraduate programs is therefore both timely and strategically significant. The MA and PGD in English and education have been designed with a clear vision to develop reflective practitioners, competent researchers, innovative educators, and ethical leaders. These programs offer you an opportunity to deepen your understanding of linguistics, literature, curriculum development, educational psychology, assessment strategies, research methodology, and contemporary educational issues. Beyond subject knowledge, they seek to cultivate analytical thinking, critical reflection, scholarly writing, and evidence-based decision-making. Postgraduate study demands intellectual maturity, discipline, and perseverance. It requires you to move beyond the passive acquisition of knowledge to active inquiry, constructive debate, and independent research. I encourage you to embrace this challenge wholeheartedly. Engage actively in lectures and seminars, question established assumptions, explore new perspectives, and contribute meaningfully to academic discussions. The richness of your learning experience will depend not only on what you are taught, but also on how deeply you are willing to think and reflect. As many of you are practicing teachers, educators, and professionals, you bring invaluable practical experience to the classroom. This diversity of backgrounds strengthens the academic environment and fosters collaborative learning. I urge you to view your peers not merely as classmates, but as partners in intellectual growth. Through dialogue and shared experiences, you will expand your professional horizons and develop networks that extend beyond this university. At the Sabaragamuwa University of Sri Lanka, we are committed to upholding high academic standards while providing a supportive and inclusive learning environment. Our dedicated academic staff, administrative officers, and support services are here to guide you throughout your journey. I encourage you to make full use of the resources available: the library, the research opportunities, digital platforms, and academic mentoring opportunities to maximize your postgraduate experience. We are living in a time of rapid technological transformation and educational reform. Digital learning environments, artificial intelligence, inclusive education policies, and global interconnectedness are reshaping how knowledge is created and shared. As postgraduate students in English and education, you are called upon to critically examine these changes and to respond with innovation and responsibility. Your role extends beyond classroom instructions. You are agents of change who influence learners, institutes, and communities. The journey ahead may be demanding. There will be deadlines to meet, research to conduct, and challenges to overcome. However, these challenges are part of the transformative process of postgraduate education. They strengthen resilience, sharpen intellect, and cultivate confidence. I encourage you to remain focused, manage your time effectively, and maintain a healthy balance between your academic, professional, and personal responsibilities. As you begin this new chapter, reflect on the broader purpose of your studies. Education is not merely a profession. It is a vocation that shapes minds, builds character, and transforms societies. Through the MA and PGD in English and Education, you are equipping yourselves with the knowledge and skills necessary to uplift learners, strengthen institutes, and contribute to the national development. I am confident that this inauguration marks the beginning of a rewarding and enriching experience for all of you. On behalf of the university community, I once again welcome you and wish you every success in your postgraduate studies. May this journey be one of growth, discovery, and achievement. Thank you, and I wish you all the very best. Professor M. Sunil Shantha, Vice Chancellor, Sabaragamuwa University of Sri Lanka. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the speech by our esteemed guest of honor, Dr. Shashikala Asaila. Few might know that she is no stranger to Sabaragamuwa University of Sri Lanka. Therefore, to formally introduce her and to welcome her to the podium, I kindly request the presence of Professor Rohan Abevikrama, Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences and Languages.
Good morning, everyone. It's a great pleasure to introduce my colleague, Dr. Shashikala, to this august gathering. Dr. Shashikala Asaila is a proud alumnus of Sabaragamuwa University of Sri Lanka. After earning the faculty gold medal upon graduation, she completed her master's degree at Jawaharlal Nehru University in New Delhi and her doctoral studies at the University of Nottingham in the UK. Between her undergraduate and postgraduate studies, she worked with the Ministry of Education, the University of Kelaniya, and briefly at SUSL. After completing her postgraduate studies, she joined the Department of English, University of Kelaniya, where she now is serving as the acting head of the department. Her primary research is in literary studies, with a particular focus on diasporic writing, women's writing, and food writing. Her research has been published internationally in peer-reviewed essay collection and journals. She is the recipient of numerous international scholarships, particularly during her postgraduate studies, and was the only Sri Lankan to win a bursary to attend the Digital Humanities at Oxford School in 2018. In addition to her scholarly contribution and publication, her debut poetry collection in its manuscript form was long-listed for Gratian Prize in 2019. The same collection was later published. With her interest and engagement in literary studies and its development in Sri Lanka, in 2024, she was elected the chair of the Sri Lankan Association for Commonwealth Literature and Language Studies, the local chapter of Association for Commonwealth Literature and Language Studies. Now I cordially welcome Dr. Shashikala Chancellor on stage to deliver her speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rohan, and good morning. The deans, the professors, faculty, esteemed guests, and new entrants. First of all, let me start by congratulating you in your new journey as master's students, as postgraduate students. You are in for an exciting time. It is an honor and a privilege to stand before you today. As an alumnus, as Rohan pointed out, of the Sabaragamuwa University of Sri Lanka, I'm grateful to the faculty at Sabaragamuwa for giving me this opportunity to stand before you at your inauguration. It is an honor, and it is a very proud moment for me to come back to university to deliver this speech. You would not understand this until and unless you do this. I'm also thrilled to see so many of you voluntarily embarking on this journey of understanding, unpacking, and exploring English literary studies. You will have to pardon me because I might be talking about literature more, and you would know that that is my pet subject. Since you have decided to pursue your master's in English literature and education, I would like to think that you have understood the joy of pursuing the study of literature. I would believe that you know how fun it is to study literature. You can disagree with me, but that is later. But it is simply a subjective pleasure that we derive from studying literature, or is it? Or should this subjective pleasure of reading, enjoying literature motivate us to be doing better things and grander things? The study of English literature is and should not be merely an academic pursuit. I strongly believe in it, and I stand by it. It is a passport and a doorway hidden inside a very plain wardrobe that allows us entry into a world of wisdom, creativity, empathy, and adventure. By reading and exploring the works of great scholars and authors, literature allows us the insights into and a deeper understanding of the human condition, the complexities and the nuances of the language, plus the power of imagination. In a world where technology determines our lives and social media dominates our thought processes, it is crucial more than ever to study literature. Not only because literature has the power to offer us an escape from our dire and most times grey reality, but also because it encourages us to look beyond the mere algorithms and see both sides of the story. And I think in this day and age, seeing both sides of the story matter more than what we give it credit for. It encourages us to look beyond, as Adichie would call, the single story. Therefore, it allows us to have new insights, new knowledges, and definitely an entry into both the struggles and the triumphs of the human spirits. The study of literature also allows you an entry into most other fields of knowledge. Now, this is a secret that we, in the field of literature, guard very, I would say we guard it with our lives. We don't necessarily talk about how much we contribute to other fields. I think it's about time that we do brag about it. The critical thinking skills, the strategic thinking skills, and your analytical skills that are given to you through the study of literature will allow you to get involved in most other fields with very little subject knowledge. Now, this is not to belittle other fields, but this is to basically tell you what studying literature makes you do. Because you access the world with a critical viewpoint. You observe the world not in straight lines, not in binaries, but in multiple truths. Therefore, it allows you to see multiple perspectives instead of seeing one side of the story. Your access to world knowledge, which also allows you to do literature, and also your privilege that comes with the study of English literature, I would urge you to think of this as your privilege. You're all privileged because being able to study in English and also doing English literature are both privileges, which we don't necessarily think of most of the time. But I think this is the time that we need to think of English literature and the study of English education and other fields as our privilege. This privilege, together with our knowledge and our critical, analytical thinking skills, enables us to understand most other styles of arguments, especially in the field of humanities. And humanities is a vast field. You don't necessarily draw a line and say this is humanities. Very recently, I was involved in a course at the medical faculty because the medical sciences, the STEM subjects, are now getting involved in teaching medical humanities. You wouldn't think of this most often, but this is an emerging field. And if you are a literary scholar, it's very easy for us to make inroads into these fields. It's not as easy for these STEM subjects to make inroads into our subjects. The difference lies in our ability to think critically, our lateral thinking skills, which allows us to see the broader picture and not necessarily think of only one element or one aspect. You will not need to be a specialist on world affairs or war to read critically and evaluate and understand the causes and repercussions of our present condition. I'm referring to world affairs. I'm sure you know what I'm referring to. You don't necessarily need to be a political analyst to understand what is going on if you have been trained to see the larger picture and not necessarily be biased about where our loyalties lie. You will also be able to see beyond the propaganda, speaking either to your nationalist spirit or to your religious beliefs to assess the situation with a critical eye. With English literature, with access to postgraduate study of English literature, you will also be able to develop not only your IQ, intelligent quotient, but also your EQ. Your intelligence quotient, I'm not even going to assess or to question because you're here because you do have a certain above average IQ. But obviously, your IQ will benefit and develop with your readings and your engagement with critical and scholarly articles. At the same time, the critical and scholarly articles that we use and we come across in English literary studies will also create an automated rational being that allows to have, that encourages self-awareness, which most people lack today in the world. If you are a passionate scholar of literature, which all of you must be, otherwise why would you take a postgraduate, why would you voluntarily register for a postgraduate degree? You develop self-awareness that is beyond the majority, the masses. You know what you're capable of, where your passions are, and you're also very clear about where your affinities are. You are also able to regulate yourself, your emotions, your responses. Just because you know where you stand doesn't mean that you are going to push your opinion, push yourself onto other people, because you're also able to regulate your emotions with the study of literature. It also motivates you in times of hardships, in times of great happiness, in times of great sadness. We all turn to literature one way or the other, because that is what brings you solace, that is what allows you to understand the world in a better way. And also, most importantly, the study of English literature also encourages you to have more empathy, which we lack in this world. Empathy is not your condescending sympathy, but it is more about how you relate to other people, how you understand other people, without the necessary condescension that the world thinks empathy is all about. And also, the list goes on. I'm just picking on some things. With the study of literature, you are able to maintain your relationships with the world. It may be your family, it may be your neighbors, it may be your colleagues, but it is also with the world. How much do we give? How much do we take? And what is our contribution to the larger existence? These are the philosophical questions that literature makes you ask. All of these things together leads to a better EQ, the emotional quotient that allows you to be a better human. So to get back to this postgraduate degree that you have, the journey that you have embarked on, this is not about reading books. This, as Professor Oseiro also pointed out, is developing range of skills that will serve you in your future careers. You may be teachers at this point, but you're not going to end up only being teachers. I assume you will want to go on to better things, to do greater things in life. You will learn to analyze, of course, complex text. You will learn to argue persuasively, and you will also learn how to communicate with clarity and precision. But you will also have the opportunity to listen to the opponents. You will also have an opportunity to live with people with different opinions. You will know how to tolerate and to understand opinions that are different to yours. You will have an opportunity to engage with disciplines that are not necessary, that may not have been your primary disciplines at any given point. It might be history, it might be philosophy, it can be political science, cultural studies, AI, anything. Those are just a few. As you progress through this program, you will also discover the many ways in which literature intersect with other areas of your everyday life. You will see how literature influences our social and cultural norms, how it shapes our identities, and how it provides a mirror to our collective psyche. You will also learn how to apply the skills you acquire in this program to a range of varied professions or the demands of your profession. You will invariably go into publishing, editing, teaching, writing, but you will also end up being part of policy making. and marketing and advertising. These are all but few of our roles as we play the academics. In conclusion, I want to emphasize that the study of English literature is not just reading books, a hobby, or a pastime. It is a vocation, a calling, and a gift. It has the power to transform your life, to broaden your horizons, and to enrich your understanding of the world. As you embark on this program, I encourage you to approach literature with an open mind, with the enthusiasm of a toddler, a critical eye, and a sense of wonder that should never cease. For, in the words of Eliot, the world is too much with us, late and soon. Getting and spending, we waste our powers. Let us waste our powers no more. Let us embark on this journey and let us conquer the challenges the real world throws at us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Asela. It's such a pleasure to have you back here with us at Sabaragamuwa. And thank you for that very interesting speech as well, which gave me a lot of perspective, and I hope gave you as well. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let us move on to another main agenda item, the keynote speech by our dear Professor Indira Mawella. To introduce this remarkable person and to welcome her to the podium, I kindly request the presence of the MA PGD coordinator for the 2024 batch and senior lecturer at the Department of Languages, Ms. Sajani Veerasinghe.
Good morning, distinguished guests, members of the academic staff, and my dear students. It is my great honor to introduce the keynote speaker for this esteemed gathering. Professor Indira Mawella is a member of the academic staff of the Department of English and Linguistics at the University of Sri Jayawardenepura. She obtained her undergraduate honors degree in English from the University of Colombo. She holds a master's degree in English language and English language teaching, and her PhD is in the field of social linguistics that she obtained from the University of Colombo. Professor Mawella served as the head of the Department of English, now the Department of English and Linguistics at the University of Sri Jayawardenepura from 2005 to 2008. She has also coordinated many postgraduate programs at the University of Sri Jayawardenepura and the University of Colombo, while serving as an invited resource person at several universities. With regard to her research, Professor Mawella has published extensively in Quartile 1 Journal Indexed in the Web of Science and the Arts and Humanities Citation Index, as well as in other peer-reviewed journals. Her research interests include social linguistics, language teaching, language disability studies, indigenous languages in South Asia, Sinhala theatre, and American literature. She has served and continues to serve as a member of the committees of management of degree programs in both state and non-state sector universities. She has also contributed her expertise as a member of the State Literary Board of the Sri Lanka Arts Council and as the chair of the Novels section of the Vidoda Literary Awards. It's an absolute pleasure to have you with us today, Professor. So join me in welcoming Professor Indira Mawella to deliver the keynote address.
Thank you. A very good morning to all of you. The deans of the faculties, including Professor Rosero and Professor Rohan Abevikrama, members of the academic and the support staff of the Sabaragamuwa University of Sri Lanka, other distinguished guests, and dear students. Before I begin my speech, let me thank Professor Rosero, the Dean of the Faculty of Graduate Studies, and Ms. Dilusha Randi, the coordinator of the master's degree and the postgraduate diploma in English and Education, and the head of the Department of English Language Teaching, for inviting me to do the keynote address today. I extend my best and warmest sentiments to Professor Lalitananda, Professor Manoj Ariyaratna, and Dr. Chandana Disanayaka, whose long-standing friendship is invaluable to me. It's more than 35 years now. I must say at the onset of my speech that it will deviate a little from a traditional keynote address because I intend to occasionally, not frequently, not often, but occasionally involve the students, that is you, in my talk. I will focus on some of the main topics in your master's and the postgraduate program. Thus, I will talk on the lines of trends in modern education, technology in education, and language and culture. I might not need the PowerPoint, I can talk to you directly. All of you are aware that the global trends in modern education marks a shift from traditional teacher-centered approaches to student-centered learning, which focuses on active learner engagement and personalized learning experiences. So, today we have theories and approaches based on problem-based learning, experiential learning, personalized learning, and so on. Problem-based learning, for instance, foregrounds collaborative learning in solving a problem or problems that reflect issues of real life, thus making the learning experience more relevant and therefore engaging. Since the students are required to identify the ways to solve a problem, this approach enhances self-directed learning, fostering independence as well as preparing the students for the challenges of the real world. Experimental learning provides learners with tasks, projects, and/or real-life situations in which they are expected to actively engage and learn by doing. This approach emphasizes applying knowledge meaningfully, thus preparing students for the challenges that will occur in real life. Personalized learning adopts an approach of customizing education to cater to the needs, preferences, knowledge, and skills of each individual student. This approach with individualized instruction promotes self-directed learning, and therefore student agency. Now, you might be wondering how some of these approaches can be implemented in a Sri Lankan context. Now, I am asking you, what did we do? How did we function during the COVID-19 pandemic? How did you all teach? We all went online, that's right. So, when we talk about modern trends in education, so what we did was, we all went online, and that is a best example for personalized experiential learning. Now, the blended, now even now we use the virtual teaching learning system in addition to face-to-face teaching, and we call it blended learning, right? So the blended learning methods which many of our teachers still use could be cited as an example for personalized learning, where in-class face-to-face teaching together with technology-assisted learning is done where students use online resources for further information on what was discussed in class. When we talk about modern trends in education, we cannot do without referring to technology. We know very well that technology has transformed education. It has made learning more personalized and accessible, providing students with learning experiences beyond the traditional classroom. Now, you may be familiar with many online platforms. So, what are some of the online platforms we have? We have edX, we have Khan Academy, we have Coursera, etc. We have University of the People, and so on. These are some of the online platforms that offer accessible and flexible education to students from all parts of the world. They can study degree programs and other courses without having to attend lectures physically. And also, these online platforms offer solutions to the financial problems which some students may face. I have a friend who is differently abled, who is a brilliant personality, who is currently doing her higher studies at the University of the People, offered with a full scholarship offered by that university. A diversity of learning materials is provided through online journals, online e-books, videos, and other such digital resources. We experienced how technology enabled and ensured the continuity of teaching learning during crisis situations like the global pandemic of COVID-19, at least to some extent of success. However, technology comes with its own challenges, particularly in countries like ours. Our students have to be equipped properly with digital literacy, the skills in which many of our students lack. Not out of their own fault, but owing to lack of facilities, particularly in remote contexts, deficiency in other resources, etc. Many students in Sri Lanka are yet to develop competencies in the STEM fields. New technologies have altered the job market to the extent of reshaping competencies that are needed to thrive in careers that may not exist, which are yet to exist, which are yet to emerge. Although technology enables accessibility, the need is very much felt today. The need is very much felt today to also enable equitable access rather than mere digitization of the existing teaching learning methods. We should ensure equity more than equality in the sphere of education, like in all other fields. When we consider the current Sri Lankan situation, the current Sri Lankan realities in the field of education, I hope you would agree with the persistent argument that there is a vast disparity between schools in different parts of Sri Lanka, where some schools have an excess of facilities and others very limited resources, both human and material resources. When we think of equity, language also can be viewed as influencing equity by shaping people's perceptions and actions. Language can either reinforce or challenge existing power structures and inequalities. The multiple realities which languages may construct may also give rise to the not so pleasant consequences like discrimination, exclusion, marginalization, and unequal access to resources. However, among the positive consequences of being multilingual is the ability to navigate multiple cultural identities which may enable the multilingual individual to adjust her or his language behavior according to the context. This aspect of language highlights its powerful role in negotiating social belonging and cultural affiliation. Now, we are a multilingual, multicultural society, and therefore we are in fertile ground for such benefits of language. The languages we speak reflect and shape our values, beliefs, our histories, and our worldviews. To cite an example, Edward Sapir, in his studies concerning the Native American language of Hopi, has shown that the Hopi language does not have direct equivalence to English concepts of time, thus influencing Hopi speakers' perception of temporal events. Another example would be how the concept of time is perceived across cultures like the Western culture and the Eastern culture like ours. The findings of research carried out by Edward T. Hall reveal that the Western people often view time as linear, which moves forward in a straight line, and Asian cultures, or this side of the world, view time as cyclical with repeating patterns and cycles. These perceptions have an impact on how we view punctuality. Western cultures typically emphasize punctuality, whereas we Asians value flexibility and the rhythms of life. If someone stops you on the way to a lecture, you wouldn't make a big deal out of it because you know that that time can be made up for. You can make up for the lost time. Yeah, it's our perception of flexibility with time. So, since language is a symbolic system embedded within a cultural context, which cannot be explained only in terms of words and rules of grammar, languages in a multilingual society can be used to understand one another, to build up and maintain social cohesion and transmit that knowledge too across generations. Integrating cultural learning into language education may enhance comprehension and empathy. Students who learn about cultural practices alongside language gain insight into why language functions as it does, making learning more meaningful and memorable. Since culture provides the context in which languages develop and evolve, understanding this interplay is crucial for effective communication, education, and fostering intercultural dialogue. Studying languages and cultures together fosters intercultural understanding, inclusion, and cooperation, which are essential components in addressing issues such as intercultural and international collaboration. Finally, I will focus on the overall importance of your master's and postgrad program in English and education. You may have been briefed on this earlier, and Dr. Sabaragamuwa also spoke about it. This is only at a glance. This degree has English literature, education, and teaching English as a second language together in one program of study. Thus, I would say that it offers a comprehensive approach to developing a range of knowledge. First and foremost, the program, as I see it, may further enhance your critical thinking and analytical skills, preparing you for further academic and professional success. It will advance your career opportunities, preparing you for diverse career paths in areas such as education and English language teaching. Some of you are already in it. As you are very well aware, there is, as always, a strong demand for more and more skills in the English language. This includes local and global educational and professional opportunities. To have all these components in one study program can also provide insights into human emotions, thus which makes this a valuable investment. I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for that very informative discourse. And dear students, you'll realize exactly how related the things that Professor Mavella spoke to us about are when you actually start your academic program, hopefully within the next 2 weeks. Thank you very much again, ma'am. Let me now invite a student from the 2025 MA batch to share her insights and experiences in following the MA program here at Sabaragamuwa. Dear Alia, the podium is yours.
Good morning. Keynote speaker, Professor Indra Mavella, the guest of honors, Dr. Shashikala Asela, Dean of the Social Sciences Faculty, Professor Rohan Abevikrama, Dean of Graduate Studies, Professor Rohita Rosairo, respected lecturers, the newly admitted students for the Masters and PGD in English and Education program. It's truly an honor for me to be here, standing in front of you, representing the senior students following the PGD and Masters in the batch 2025. I can go back 1 year before, where I was sitting in front of you just like this, with curiosity, excitement, and a bit of uncertainty, wondering what the future would hold for me. Yes. So when we begin usually something new, we often have few uncertainties whether this would work out for me, whether did I take the right choice in the path which I have chosen currently. So I would say, looking back as a second year student, that I made the right choice by joining the MA program at Sabaragamuwa University of Sri Lanka for the course of MA in English and Education. Many people may believe that the Masters in English and Education program is just completely designed for the students or educators preferring to be in the field of academics or maybe in the teaching career. I would like to focus on a bit more different field. And let me also explain why I would like to focus in that. Because currently I see education as something that is specially focusing not only about gaining knowledge, but also about transforming the way you think, the way we approach to problems, and also the way we understand the world. So allow me to share a bit of my personal experience. So currently, I work in the corporate sector as an assistant team lead in a US-based revenue cycle management company. However, when I first joined the master's program, I had certain doubts whether I chose the current field of study while being in the corporate sector. And when I chose the master's program, I was working as a senior associate. So based on the course units that I followed, and I actively engaged in the lectures and the activities that were provided, and also in the discussions that happened in the lectures, I began to notice how much my thinking skills changed. The way I looked at problems were different. The way I saw at certain situations differed from the way I saw them before. Gradually, I began to apply these concepts in my workplace. My role began to excessively change. So my role involves working closely with adult learners, conducting trainings, guiding team members, and also collaborating with people from diverse backgrounds. So the knowledge and the perspective I gained through this program helped me approach situations with a thoughtful manner. It helped me communicate better, understand people more effectively, and approach challenges with a more positive and a reflective manner. So over time, I would say these challenges, the way I carried these responsibilities, made me more confident, and eventually I was fortunate enough to grow professionally while I was promoted to the role of an assistant team lead. So when I look back today, I really feel grateful that I chose this program. Instead of randomly choosing any program, I was mindful enough to choose the MA in English and Education program, which made me think in a different way than how I was already thinking about. So this was not just a journey about my professional growth, but also a personal journey which I worked towards self-discovery too. What this experience really taught me is that education does not remain within the walls of the classroom. It can be taken something far more beyond, whether it can be a classroom, a workplace, or even a wider society. It shapes the way we think, the way we communicate, and also the way we interact with the people. You would see that in the first semester of your course unit itself, you have this active communication, the way you interact with people. You are going to gain a really immense knowledge throughout this program, and just be willing to learn and be open to learning. It's just an awareness that learning is a lifelong process. And I would like to address the new joinees here. So yeah, as you start this program, I encourage you to actively engage in the classroom discussions, make sure you actively engage in the learning process too. Do your best when you attend the lectures. Don't just be passive listeners. Come up with your ideas. Bring out your discussions. The lecturers we have here, they are so down to earth, and they are always willing to provide you with the required guidance, and they are always willing to share the knowledge that they have. And just as Professor Shashikala mentioned, yes, literature has merely changed my perspective of viewing the worldly affairs. It is completely a brand new perspective that you start looking at the world. You will also experience, in the meantime, in the lectures, you'll have a lot of group activities. Collaborative learnings through happen, so please be mindful that you be active in the classroom. You'll be assigned to breakout rooms, so make sure you join. So many people sometimes, while the breakout rooms are assigned, they'll quickly leave the meeting. Don't do that. Make sure you join the breakout rooms and actively engage in the engage in the discussions, because especially more than the knowledge that you gain through the lectures, when you engage in peer discussions, learning happens in a far more wider way, and you get a platform where you can share your opinions. And I would say your learners, like your peer learners, bring far more knowledge than you're already aware of. So be willing to learn from everybody. And also, I wanted to highlight one more thing here, is the online nature of this program. People might wonder, maybe this online learning program might distance you from your peer learners or your lecturers. Based on my experience, I would say no. It's completely the opposite. You are so interactive, you feel so collaborated. I think like currently we've only met our batchmates few times, but we share a really great bond. We share ideas and we are so connected. So these discussions that you have frequently during your breakout rooms and the classroom activities is what that keeps you all connected to. So I would always encourage you all to be interactive in the classroom, be active, bring out your discussions, bring out your suggestions, and the lecturers and the peer learners are always willing to support. And one more major addition is that I wanted to mention that you will have a really supportive coordinator. Our coordinator was Dr. Miss Ashani Maxwell. She was really an awesome coordinator, and whenever you have problems, whenever you have concerns, whenever you have anything to clarify, please reach out to your coordinator, and she'll go above and beyond to reach out and help you with whatever possible ways. So a warm welcome to the program, and hope you receive the best. Thank you so much.
That was Miss Alia Tasneem. Thank you, Alia, again for sharing your experiences with us. To memorialize our respect and gratitude for gracing this occasion with their presence, we would like to present tokens of appreciation to the keynote speaker as well as the guest of honor. To present the souvenir to the keynote speaker, Professor Mawala, I cordially invite Professor Rohit Rosero, the Dean of the Faculty of Graduate Studies. present the souvenir to the guest of honor, Dr. Sabaragamuwa, I cordially invite Professor Rohana Bevikrama, Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences and Languages. Thank you, and thank you, Ms. Ayuri and Ms. Chamudi. Marking the end of the inauguration ceremony, I would like to invite your coordinator, the coordinator for the MA PGD in English and Education 2026 intake, also currently the head of the Department of English Language Teaching at Sabaragamuwa University of Sri Lanka, Ms. Randi Silva, to deliver the water thanks.
Good morning, distinguished guests, academic staff members, administrative staff members, and non-academic staff members, and my dear students. It's truly an honor to stand before you today as the coordinator of the Master of Arts and Postgraduate Diploma in English and Education 2026 program, and offer our heartfelt gratitude to each and every person who made this day possible. First and foremost, I would like to extend my gratitude to Professor M. Sunil Shantha, the Vice Chancellor of Sabaragamuwa University of Sri Lanka. Even though he is not with us today here, his encouragement meant a lot for the success of this program. To our keynote speaker, Professor Indira Mavella from the University of Sri Jayawardenepura, my dear supervisor and lecturer when I was an undergraduate at the university. So I'm truly grateful to you, ma'am, for coming all the way here. And it feels like a full circle moment for me. And our sincere thanks goes to our guest of honor, Dr. Shashikala Seller from the University of Kelaniya, for gracing this occasion with the wealth of her wisdom and the intellectual enrichment. Thank you, ma'am. And we are grateful to Professor H.S.R. Rosairo, Dean of the Faculty of Graduate Studies, for the continued guidance and institutional support that made this program successful. And a very special word of appreciation goes to Professor Rohana Bevikrama, Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences and Languages. So I'm truly grateful to you for your continuous support and mentorship. We extend our sincere gratitude to Mr. Samanu Yangoda, our registrar, and Ms. S.A.S. De Silva, our bursar, for the institutional support and administrative guidance that kept everything on track. And to Dr. Mahesh Hapugoda, Chairperson of the Board of Study for Humanities, and to Professor Manoj Aryaratna, the former Chairperson, Professor Sangeet Ratnayaka, and Dr. Chandana Disanayaka, members of the Board of Study, for your academic oversight and encouragement. It has meant a great deal to this program. Thank you. And to the panel of lecturers of the MA PGD in English and Education program, you are quite simply the backbone of what we do. Thank you for your commitment and your scholarship. Further, I'm especially grateful to Professor Lalitanand, my dear lecturer, for joining us today despite his busy schedule. As well, we are grateful to Dr. H. Divithura, Dean of the Faculty of Geomatics, Professor Athula Jnanapala, Dean of the Faculty of Management Studies, and Professor Thilinisi Gamage, Director, Staff Development Center, for generously allowing us to make use of their facilities today. The kindness has not gone unnoticed. To all the heads of departments, especially Dr. Champadi Silva, professors and academic staff members, Director of the Confucius Classroom, and the Chinese scholars who have joined us today, Your presence here speaks volumes. Thank you for being part of this occasion. We are thankful to Ms. Sajani Veerasinghe, Senior Lecturer in English, Department of Languages, for stepping in generously to introduce our keynote speaker. And a warm thank you to my dear friend Ashani Maxworth, Senior Lecturer in English, Department of English Language Teaching, for being our Master of Ceremonies today. You carried out the session so beautifully as always. And I want to take a moment to specially acknowledge Professor Rohan Abbevikrama, Ms. Sajani Veerasinghe and Ms. Ashani Maxworth, the former coordinators of this very program. Their guidance, support, extended me personally have been invaluable, and I'm truly grateful. To Mr. Rizan, Senior Assistant Registrar of the Faculty of Graduate Studies, for all the support in organizing this event, and to Mr. Binukar, Assistant Bursar of the Faculty of Graduate Studies, for handling all financial matters with such smoothness. Thank you both. A very special mention goes to Mr. Ashoda Chandrasekhara, Assistant Registrar of the Faculty of Social Sciences and Languages. From the very beginning, your continuous support was truly impressive and we deeply valued. Thank you so much. To Mr. Gihan Priyankara, for all the IT support, we appreciate you greatly. As well, our thanks to Ms. Sairi and Ms. Chamodi for managing the registration desk so efficiently and making sure our guests and students were welcomed warmly from the moment they arrived. And to Mr. Andre Gunaratna and his crew at the Audiovisual Unit and the Faculty of Geomatics, thank you for ensuring that everything sounded and looked just as it should. And to the wonderful team who worked tirelessly throughout the entire preparation process, I'd like to mention their names as well. Ms. Tilanka, Ms. Sarangi, Mr. Amila and Ms. Niranjana, as well as Mr. Suman Ratna from the Faculty of Graduate Studies, as well as Mr. Ajit, Mr. Ravi, Mr. Premaratna and Mr. Ashadha from the Faculty of Social Sciences and Languages. Your behind-the-scenes effort is commendable. And to the student speaker from the MA PGD 2025 batch, Ms. Alia Tasneem, a special thank you for sharing your experience and your voice with us today. It was a wonderful addition to the program. So the MA PGD in English and Education has over the years grown into something genuinely special, and that didn't happen overnight and by accident. It is the result of the hard work, persistence and dedication of former coordinators, deans, administrative members, Board of Study members, lecturers and non-academic staff who have poured their energy into year after year. This program carries their legacy and we are proud to continue it. And finally, to my dear students, some of you have come from quite a distance to be here today, and I want you to know that we see that and we truly appreciate it. I hope this morning has felt like the spark you needed. Once again, thank you everyone who made today possible. It truly makes a village, and what a wonderful village it is. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear Andi. And with that, we conclude the inauguration ceremony of the MA PGD in English and Education program for the year 2026. Lunch is ready. Actually, it might be a little too early for lunch, but I think by about 11:30, lunch will be ready at the rooftop cafe of the Faculty of Management Studies. And on your way to the venue, please pause at the main entrance to the Faculty of Geomatics to take a photograph, and after that we can meet for lunch at the Faculty of Management Studies for students and the faculty here at the Faculty of Geomatics premises for the invited guests. And dear students, after lunch at about 1, sharp at 1, we will meet here back again for your orientation program. So with that, we come to the end of the inauguration program. This is Maxworth signing off. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the university song.
Sabaragamuwa sarasaviyai, Sabaragamuwa sarasaviyai. ගලායන ජීවිතයේ කඳු මුදුන් සොයාගෙන ආගල කන්ද නගින්නේ ආගල කන්ද නගින්නේ පහනින් එළිය ලබාගෙන මනරම් විදුනෙන් අකුරු දරාගෙන කළුගම් පතුලේ රුවන් සොයාගෙන උඩුගම් බලා දෙන්නේ උඩුගම් බලා දෙන්නේ කගගින් රුදු අඳුර නසාගෙන ඔබෙත් මගෙත් හීන කලලිවන දිනය උදාවන්නේ මේ ඔබේ සවියයි මේ මගේ සවියයි සබරගමුව සරසවියයි Sabaragamuwa sarasaviyai.